Here's a question to boggle the mind. Are you the dreamer or the dream? Are you the storyteller or the story? Are you the thinker or are you the thoughts that run through the mind? I was reading the text of A Course in Miracles the other day, and this sentence jumped out at me. Thus, are you not the dreamer, but the dream? And what does that mean? I think this passage may be saying that we live our lives on autopilot. By default, things happen to us rather than happen through us, and we do things because we believe that's just the way it is. We're dictated to by the content of the dream, and what this dream is really is a program. So what are the essential elements of this program that dictates our lives? Well, this is what that passage in A Course in Miracles had to say. The body takes a central place in every dream, or you could say program. The body takes a central place in every dream, which tells the story of how it was made by other bodies, born into the world outside the body, lives a little while, and dies, to be united in the dust with other bodies dying like itself. In the brief time allotted it to live, it seeks for other bodies as its friends and enemies. The body's safety is its main concern. Its comfort is its guiding rule. It tries to look for pleasure and avoid the things that would be hurtful. The body puts things on itself which it has bought with little metal discs or paper strips the world proclaims as valuable and good. The body works to get them, doing senseless things, and tosses them away for senseless things it does not need and does not even want. The body hires other bodies that they may protect it. The body looks about for special bodies which can share its dream. Sometimes it dreams it's a conqueror of bodies weaker than itself. But in some phases of the dream, it is the slave of other bodies that would hurt and torture it. The body's serial adventures from the time of birth to dying is the theme of every dream the world has ever had. Well, that's a pretty bleak picture about how we have programmed our lives to be. We're both spectators and participators in our own life story. And I was watching the TV show Inside Number 9 the other day, and one of the characters, who was actually dead, but we won't go into that, one of the characters quoted the comedian George Carlin saying, "If all the world's a stage, where does the audience sit?" And this led me to thinking about Shakespeare's poem, The 7 Ages of Man, which offers a similarly bleak picture as that passage from A Course in Miracles about how we have programmed our lives to be. Here are some excerpts from The 7 Ages of Man from the play As You Like It. And As You Like It is an interesting title in itself. Anyway, here we go. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school, and then the lover, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow, then a soldier, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. I'm going to skip to the 6th age, where our man now has spectacles on nose and pouch on side, and his big manly voice is turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Without teeth, without eyes, without taste, without everything. Yes, this is the hero's journey as we've programmed life to be, starting and ending life as helpless. And if we live a long life, we consider ourselves to be lucky. So then that song that the dancers for hire sing in the musical Sweet Charity sprang to my mind. You know that song, there's got to be something better than this. In that song, though, the alternatives that they dream about and sing about don't actually seem to be that much better than the life they're living. And another song from another musical has just sprung to mind, Fagin in the musical Oliver, when he starts reflecting about his life choices and for a moment thinks that, well, maybe overseeing a bunch of underage pickpockets may not be the right path for him in life. So he reviews the situation, runs through all the alternatives, and decides that actually the alternatives look a lot bleaker than the life he's currently living. And so he goes back to autopilot. But the good news is, there is something better than this. There is something better than the way we've programmed life to be. Because programs can be changed. And the first step is to stop living life on autopilot and be really conscious and in the moment. Mindfulness and mindfulness meditation practices are becoming more and more mainstream, and this is a good thing, I think, because it encourages us to be in the moment, to experience what is going on in the moment, to be present without judgment, instead of just hurtling from one activity to the next and keeping our minds busy, keeping our bodies busy, because we think that's just the way it's meant to be. Savouring the moment, savouring pleasure and the experiences elongates life, slows times down, because our lifetimes really are short and we can miss so many moments by living our lives on autopilot, not living consciously, not being present, not understanding why we do the things we do, but just doing them because everybody else does them. Living inside a box, living in mediocrity, doing what everybody else does, just because, and for no other reason than that. In my book, I Am the Singer, one of the morning meditation messages is this. When you enter the realm of time and space, you are like an actor. The writer, formerly known as Shakespeare, put it beautifully. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women may be players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. The ego, your false idea of yourself, is a character that you are portraying. When you pray, you are like an actor asking a director, "What's my motivation?" But your character's motivation is different from your soul's true purpose. In other words, the goals of your ego are different from the goals of your infinite self. In ultimate reality, your ego does not exist. To reiterate, it's a fictional character being played by an actor, except that you've forgotten that you're only acting, and you've taken the method too far. You have confused your ultimate identity with the role that you are playing, and you have forgotten the bigger picture, that you are an infinite self, limitless, powerful, loving, and wise, pretending to be only human. So instead of thinking of ourselves as a frail body with needs, we can think of ourselves as a limitless, powerful soul with a purpose, with a cause, and that there is a point to life. We're not just born to die. We're born to live. We just have to tune into our soul, our infinite self, and reconnect with it, and live our lives according to our true purpose, cause, and raison d'etre. So I hope I've ended on a more uplifting and empowering note, because things were starting to look very bleak for a while back there. So this is Sam Punch, author of Manifestation Psychology, and I am the singer. Thank you for listening.